Alabama Governor Kay Ivey has signed into law several criminal justice reform bills passed by the legislature, the governor's office announced today. Some of the legislation came from recommendations by a criminal justice study group Ivey appointed in 2019 because of the state's prison crisis. The U.S. Department of Justice has sued the ADOC alleging that violent conditions in Alabama's overcrowded, understaffed, and violent prisons violate the Constitution. The legislation mentions a 2013 study by the RAND Corporation that found that inmates who participate in quality education programs are 43% less likely to return to prison in 3 years. Inmates serving time for serious violent felonies and for sex offenses are not eligible. The ADOC will file quarterly reports with the legislature's Prison Oversight Committee on the circumstances and causes of inmate deaths, as well as incidences of sexual abuse and the results of investigations into those incidents. The quarterly reports will include information on the size and composition of the inmate population, staffing levels, and inmate participation in educational, vocational, religious, and reentry programs. It will also include summaries of litigation involving the ADOC. In a press release, Ivey said, "Criminal justice reform is not only necessary but is a top priority of my administration. I am proud to sign these bills into law as we work to prepare inmates to re-enter society as productive citizens." Other criminal justice reforms and bills recommended by Ivey's study group died during this legislative session, including bills to give inmates with nonviolent offenses a chance for new sentences based on revisions to sentencing laws since they were convicted. Bills to repeal the state's Habitual Offender Act and lessen penalties for marijuana possession also failed. Related, bills could lead to shorter sentences for some Alabama offenders. Ivey also signed into law the state general fund budget, which supports for non-education agencies. The budget is for the fiscal year that starts October 1st. It calls for spending a record $2.4 billion from the general fund. Even in a pandemic, Alabama showed resilience, and our economy is bouncing back, Ivey said. Other states have had to make cuts, but because of our fiscally conservative and targeted approach, we are strategically investing $2.4 billion into essential services across the state. I commend Representative Clouse and the Alabama Legislature for their good work on our budgets.